Hey everyone, and welcome back for another Railfan adventure. This time we're heading east of Cincinnati to the Kenova, West Virginia area. Today we'll see quite a few trains from both sides of the river. Also, I did make a quick trip to check out the CSX Huntington rebuild shops. When I came through on the Cardinal last summer, the engine seemed to stretch on for quite a ways. So I thought it'd be pretty neat to get a bird's eye view of the area. I'll put that at the very end of the video with some of the radio chatter I picked up. We'll start in South Point, Ohio, a few hundred feet from the river. There are signals in both directions just a little ways from here, but they didn't help me much. These tracks are part of Norfolk Southern's Heartland corridor. We'll get a little more into that in a bit, but I'll just let you know right now, these tracks are busy. In fact, here comes our first train. It's heading timetable east. As you can tell, this isn't a very scenic shot where we are. I found it using Google Maps. If you give me a minute though, I'll show you why I chose this area. Coming toward us is NS 271, an intermodal that begins at the Livernois Yard in Detroit and then heads to Norfolk, Virginia, stopping to work the yard in Sandusky, Ohio.
Over to Smasher, over. J11, Kenova. J11, over. Yes, sir. Done with the work here. I'd like to give permission to make a reverse move, main 10 and E, between Neal and 57. Head back to Kenova, want to pull by and shut down the coach track when we can. All right, J11, permission to reverse main 1, between 57 crossover and Neal. All right, permission to reverse main 10 and E, between 57 and Neal.
It's been a few months since I've been able to get out in Railfan, so it's been a while since I've flown the drone. I'm actually pretty proud of how smooth this shot is, so I'm just going to let this entire shot play out.
That's right. When will you be down there at 57? Just a few minutes? Yeah, I think about 10 minutes. Okay, all right. All right, lights coming to you and should be in the coach track. Yes, sir. Pull by and shut down the coach. Okay, here we go. First clear signal, main 1, main 2 west, 57. 271 clear, South Point East, main 1 in. Nova 273 over. Got a clear signal, Nova, main 2 west. 273, meet at 271 at 57 crossover. Right. Yes, 271 clear for Nova. East main 1 in. Train look good, over. Hey, we're looking at you. Train look good, over. Everything, you have a good day, over. J11's got a broke signal, main 2 west.
That's Kenova we're looking at. You can see the track splits the neighborhood in half. And as you can see, there are coal hoppers everywhere. The NS Kenova yard is in the upper left corner of the screen. As these tracks bend to the right, there's a diverging track to enter the yard. There's a defect detector just a few hundred feet from us. Let's listen to the call.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 569.1. Main 1, no defects. Norfolk Southern, milepost 569.1. Main 1, no defects.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that seems like a different voice than what I'm used to on the NS mainline through Kentucky. Also, I'm not a fan of DDs that only call out no defects. I love to get the axle count at least, maybe the length or speed. On the radio, we hear what sounds like a J11 going into the Kenova yard, but we'll never see it. Meanwhile, there's another train south, well, I guess east of here technically.
73 approach diverging, Kenova west, main 1 out.
It's NS 273. It starts in Portlock Yard in Norfolk and goes to Rickenbacker Yard in Columbus, Ohio.
Clear South Point west, 1 to 50. 1. Main 1. No defects.
Not long after we have our next train. I never did hear the symbol for it, I just know it's an eastbound manifest. It sounds like the conductor calls out 18W, but I don't find that symbol anywhere. So give it a listen and let me know what you think.
That's 3 Street 51 crossover, 2 track. 18W, clear. Correct. East, main 1. Yes, 18W, clear. Kenova, east, main 1. That's J11, clear for going in 18.
What is 18, subject?
Double check. 5. Okay. 3 more. 5 more, J11. 1.
Anywhere in there will do. 13, 3 step, 36, 18 David.
36, 18, 3 step flag. Alright, J11. J11.
618 drop 3 step Davis, 102.
13, 36, 18, 3 step release 102. 5, J11. And J11. 6 J11. 6 J11.
2, 3 step Davis, 36, 18, J13.
618, 3 step flag. J11.
15 drop 3 step, 36, 18, cuts may go east.
36, 18, 3 step release. J11. J11. 7, get right shut to me here about 6 to come.
You probably already noticed, but the number of barges tied up along the Ohio River in this area is incredible. Whether it's coal or petroleum products, there is so much fuel coming from this part of the country.
Double check. Give me 4 more. 2 cars. Last one. Truck. That'll do. 3 step jail. 3372, Truck conductor 3 step 3372. Get right. Go east. About 15 of them. Cut that rear car off and leave it in 2 for a minute.
On 1, gentlemen.
Yeah, we're watching. All right, thanks. Mr. Man. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to railfan it because it's too close to the airport for my drone to fly, but the CSX line in the area goes under the approach to this bridge. You can barely see it as we zoom in. I saw a group of railfans there, so I'm guessing it's a pretty good spot with both lines in view, and it looked like CSX signals were nearby.
Norfolk Southern milepost 569.1. Main 1. No defects. Norfolk Southern milepost 569.1. Main 1. No defects.
So far, this line's not disappointing. I would have caught 5 trains in under the first 3 hours if I'd gotten here a little earlier. Wanted to mix it up though, so I decided to head to the West Virginia side of the river. While I move, here's a little information on the Norfolk Southern Bridge. It was originally built as a single-track structure in 1892 by the Norfolk and Western Railway. Here's a picture of what it looked like then. As coal demand increased and train traffic grew, a bigger double-track bridge was needed. So less than 20 years later, it was rebuilt into what we see today. It took more than 21 million pounds of steel and $1 million to upgrade. The bridge is nearly 4,000 feet long and sits 82 feet above normal water level. It was the longest structure on the Norfolk and Western system. I'll include a link to a little more information about it in the comments. Now, this bridge's importance was not just physically to cross the river, but it was strategic. It was the Norfolk and Western's gateway to the West. NS says the bridge was said to have been one of the Germans' targets on American soil during both World Wars, saying during World War II, saboteurs were caught nearby and a Coast Guard unit was detailed to protect the bridge. Here's another interesting note. The world's longest and heaviest train at the time went across this bridge in 1967. The 4+ mile train, consisting of 500 loaded coal cars and 6 EMD SD-45 locomotives, was part of a contest with the Pennsylvania Railroad. This line is part of Norfolk Southern's Heartland corridor, a public-private partnership connecting Virginia and its ports to the Midwest. Long story short, this is a very busy line. Well, looks like our fourth train's about to come through. As you can see, the sun is starting to work against me. This section of line is nearly perfectly north-south, so the train is in shadow on pretty much both sides because of where the sun is. Also, I wasn't able to get my drone up in time for the start of this train. That's because every time I started on this side of the river, I need to get an authorization to fly here. I'm legal to fly up to 400 feet, but my drone requires an unlock code be sent. This is the only area that I have this issue. Luckily, I was able to get it in the air by this time this Union Pacific DPU came by. It wasn't long before another westbound made its way through. The sun is a little better for this train as I was able to get my drone on the better side.
Double check. Give me 4 more. Two cars. Last one. Truck. That'll do. 3 set jail. 3372, Conductor 3 set 3372, get right. Go east. About 15 of them. Cut that rear car off and leave it in 2 for a minute.
On 1, gentlemen.
Yeah, we're watching. All right, thanks. Mr. Man. Yeah. about 8 more there, J11.
Poppy, what's the pay calendar?
Do what?
Where do you find the pay calendar at?
Oh, what you talking about?
I knew there was an eastbound coming too, so I was hoping for a meet. We'll need to zoom in a little bit, but there it is.
People were saying that you could see your conductors could see their back pay on pay calendar on time tracks. I can't find it anywhere.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
That direct access under pay details, so nothing ever popped in there.
Yeah.
More containers and West Coast power, a theme on Norfolk Southern. Those BNSF and Union Pacific units seem to be a constant on many of these NS trains.
Yeah, I was messing around there. You can format it. I had to select HTML, not a PDF file or something, in order for it to come up.
Go east, J11. 30, 618, 3-step release, Davis, 102. Pretty good, 35, don't you?
MSR 206, over. Hey, Jim, how long do you think you'll be ready to take off?
We're coupled on to them, Bob. We're just pumping air up on them, and the PTC will work, so we're going to make sure we get this dispatcher's permission to use that PTC work.
Okay, yeah, I got L211 on the way. I'm trying to sneak out before they get here. They're coming by Big Sandy now. I'll just let the dispatcher know that you'll holler. I'm here in just a minute.
And we'll holler. We'll go to this channel right now. As soon as it gets permission to go without PTC, we're ready.
Hey, bro.
Shortly after this train passed, a young man and his mom stopped by. They were both very friendly, and he let me know that a Norfolk Southern Heritage unit was on the upcoming train. I'm sorry I forgot to write down your name to thank you for letting me know about the Heritage unit. I spotted the train on the other side of the river with my drone, and we watched as it inched toward us. I've only seen a few Heritage units in person, so this is pretty exciting for me. Let's listen as we hear the locomotives roar by. I'm going to show the entirety of this coal train, so I hope you have a few minutes to spare. I wish I knew the car count because this just kept going and going. It had 3 DPUs in the middle, but that wasn't all. As the end finally comes into view, two more distributed power units are bringing up the rear. This train took just over 5.5 minutes to pass underneath the south entrance to the bridge. The most recent timetable says that this is a 30-mile-an-hour area. My calculation of 5.5 minutes times 30 miles an hour gives us a train length of 14,520 feet. If true, that beats my previous longest train, a 13,000-foot CSX, by more than 1,000 feet. It is incredible what these locomotives are able to pull. I was able to see on the ATCS another train was heading toward me, so I was able to get on the well side of the tracks, and not long after, here it came. As I was heading back to my car with my cameras in hand, I heard another train approaching. I only had time to get one of those cameras set up and running, which is why we're back on the dark side of the tracks. Luckily, I was able to get the drone in the air. This was a really fun trip with plenty of action. I'm not sure how many trains are typical on this line, but I do know it's a priority in the Norfolk Southern system. NS line between Danville and Cincinnati is one of my favorite lines because of just how busy it is. This line stands toe-to-toe with it, if not even busier. It may not be the most scenic area, but I highly recommend it to anyone looking to catch a lot of trains. Here's the video from the CSX rebuild shops. I don't know if some of the engines have been sold or scrapped, but it definitely seems like there aren't nearly as many as I remember when I came through the area last summer. I really do hate to think many of the diesels here have seen their last revenue service on the rails.
Huntington Yard Metro. Go ahead, over. I'm going to switch everything down. He said take 5 minutes for it to come back up. If you want me to, I can shove out and clear up for if you need to bring him in 5 or something.
Well, yeah, I can bring him in lower 8. I'm showing lower 8, but I can bring him in lower 8. Now you can set off up there on the hump while you're getting your things hooked up there.
Okay, we'll head on down toward the west end then of the north lead in case it needs to shove back in here or something.
Okay, yeah, I got lower 3 as well. Joe, I can bring him on in.
I understand, thank you.
But thanks. 1 and 29. All right, guys, come on in lower 8. Bring your train in lower 8, and then use upper 5 or headroom. We'll set those cars in lower 3. How many cars say you had? 27? 29, all right, copy that.
Turn to clear in 5, thank you, brother. Darlene.
Go ahead.
You don't care if we just down at the yard board.
That's where?
Russell down at the yard board.
Righty. I got my gloves.
Come on, left and right. Joe. Yes, sir. Was your driver here to pick the crew up at the Ellsberg, take them at the hotel? No, she wants to. I don't care a bit. Rail crew. Darlene. Darlene, here's the crew up there at the bank. Needs to take the hotel to E109 if you care to pick them up. Yeah, they was up there. They had a ride. I don't know if it ever showed up, and they was hollering for one. Yeah, right there at the bank up there at Catsburg. If they're not there, I guess they're already gone. Dave? Yeah, you're what now? Welcome. Hey, who's down there waiting on it? I go? Dave, ma'am. If I knew Dave.
For them, Joe. The rest of your train, Joe. I have small shoulders.
Paul Reed with you, so you know that story.
I like it. Yes. You have flag.
Joe, you may pull up that first switch line.
Right. Clear all tracks, I think at 412.
615, CSX 6501, need clear. HO out the yard. West.
Switch. I guess.
Clear, Giants, westbound, number 2 track, EO 3715, CSX engine 7247. Clear, DK. Westbound, number 2 track, EO 3715, CSX engine 7247.
15 more, 5412. 10 to D412, 10 cars.
We're now 10.
Oh, 10 now. All right, it's 412. 10. 5 to stop. It's 412. Bye.
Clear, HO, westbound, out. 3, 2, and 1.
1.
Anywhere be good. 3 steps, get stopped. 5412.
At this time. I hope you liked this video and will consider subscribing so you can check out my latest videos. We'll be heading to the CSX Toledo line next and checking out some of the older signals along the way. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day.